you're thinking about moving to Philadelphia, well, here are two neighborhoods you definitely want to check out. And I can tell you, these are definitely, yeah, my two favorite neighborhoods. And make sure you hang in there to the end, because I'm going to tell you which one of these two are my absolute favorites. So let's make sure we dive in right now. Number one, first one we're going to start with is Manayunk. And I'm going to throw in Roxborough too, make Manayunk and Roxborough kind of like one neighborhood. Now, if you're looking for that small town, small river town vibe without leaving Philadelphia, because remember, these two neighborhoods are in technically Philadelphia, even though they go by separate names like Manayunk, Roxborough, and the other one I'll tell you later about. So hang in there, check that out. But here you wake up to, you know, hilly area. Manayunk has a lot of hills instead of high rises, have a little water instead of wall-to-wall traffic, and a main street that truly earns its name as a main street. This neighborhood sits kind of right around on Schuylkill River, tucked in between, kind of like once you pass the art museum, you kind of get closer to Manayunk. And as soon as you pass Manayunk, you actually go into Montgomery County, totally different suburb. That's kind of where you find Manayunk, right next to 76. It's actually what it is. It's an active, social, little proud of itself, and never shy of inviting you outside. So you could take a nice little walk around the Schuylkill River. You also have the Manayunk Towpath, which runs like a green ribbon beside the canal. Quiet in the morning, lively by lunch, filled with joggers, strollers, and a few patient anglers. Yes, you can actually, there's people fishing down there. I don't know why, but I guess they want to. My recommendation though is that if you're gonna fish there, please don't eat the fish. Like, just throw it back in there, because whatever fish you're catching in that river, no. In fact, anything in the Schuylkill, you catch anything in the Schuylkill, don't drink the Schuylkill, don't swim in the Schuylkill. It's just nasty water. Like, it's really disgusting. Like, the Hudson River in New York City gets a bad rap. Schuylkill River is right behind there. I mean, seriously. It does connect to the Schuylkill River Trail, which gives you about 250 miles of circuit trail. So your weekend plans practically write themselves. You can bike into the city, walk your dog over to Pretzel Park, get the farmer's market, then wander back to the boardwalk with a nice little coffee. Maybe had a little brew at one of the places, but you definitely want to check that out. And now if you look up in the sky in Manayunk, you'll see a big photogenic curve in the sky. That's the Manayunk Bridge. It's car-free, sits about 6 stories high, and frames the beautiful skyline that makes even longtime locals stop for a second to check it out. Getting around is easy to think. When you live in Manayunk, there's 3 regional rail stations. You have the Wissahickon, Manayunk, and the Ivy Ridge, which gives you straight shots to Center City. There are 4 bus routes that connect to the area from Manayunk down to Center City, but if you feel like it, it's a quick drive, honestly. It really is. You can jump on Kelly Drive, just shoot down Kelly Drive, and you're in Center City in no time. I'd say probably within 10, 15, 20 minutes. It all depends in the sense of a lot of small roads, a lot of one-way streets, real tight roads. Sometimes you have to pull over to the side to let the car pass you by. That's coming opposite of you to pass you by, because you got to weave in and outside of parking cars. But if you are, once you hit Kelly Drive, straight shot. And I will also tell you, a lot of people actually jump on their bikes from Manayunk to Center City because they get around on Kelly Drive. Got the biking path, running path there. So people will jump on that and take their bikes, ride the bike right into Center City. So driving back and forth between, Center City and Manayunk can depends on traffic, depends on rush hour, but still, it's pretty cool. It gives you some flexibility. You can either, like I said, ride your bike, drive a car, or take a train, or take a bus. You got some options there. But that kind of gives you nice flexibility, which is kind of part of the charm there. Now, as for houses, you will find old row homes, a lot of old row homes. 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom row homes. There's a lot of new construction going on over there. Sometimes a little too much for me in Manayunk. They have a tendency to kind of shove in, 50 new townhouses into a small space in Manayunk. It makes it real tight. It's made it more tight. And how do I know that? Because I used to live in Roxborough. I lived there for several years back in the day. It's funny, back in the day, if you had told me I was going to live in Roxborough, Manayunk area, I told you were crazy. But it's really picked up its pace over the years, turned into a real nice little neighborhood, suburban town, really. But like, again, it's not a suburban town because it's part of Philly. But people ask you where you live, you tell them Manayunk, Roxborough, they go, oh, I know where that is. That's a nice little neighborhood. But you do find, you got the single homes, row homes, twins. You do have townhouses and condos. Now, aspect when I talk about Manayunk, I'm also, again, talking about Roxborough. Now, Manayunk itself is really tight. You go up to Roxborough, kind of go up the hill, it gets a little more space. Parking's a little bit easier. So that's what a lot of people do. They head up towards the Roxborough edge or near Ivy Ridge. That makes it easier. And that way, if you don't want to be part of like Manayunk in crowd and the party, and it gets a little loud sometimes in Manayunk, Main Street. A lot of college kids from University of Pennsylvania, they're staying there up there. Like the dorms are up there, and then they come down to Manayunk. They do a little drinking and hanging out on a Saturday night. So it can get a little bit loud later in the evening. So just remember that. So if you are looking for more peace and quiet, go 2-3 blocks up the hills and you'll get that. Just make sure, test the block out at night. Obviously, if you are looking to move to Manayunk, you know what you're gonna do. You're gonna contact this guy. Here's my contact info. Yeah, this guy right here. Make sure you subscribe. Smash the like button. Don't hit the down button. Hit the thumb button. Anyway, contact info is right here. But seriously, if you're looking to move there, hit me up. Very familiar. Lived in the area for years. Know everything inside and out. It is, it's a friendlier part of Philly. I've had a lot of people who have relocated from different cities and different states, and I've always thrown in there Manayunk and Roxborough. And a lot of people that have moved there love it there. Some people stay forever. People move in and stay for a couple of years and move on to the next thing. One of my favorite things about Manayunk is the food. Yes, the food is awesome in Manayunk. Seriously, one of my favorite restaurants is right in Manayunk. Lucky's Last Chance. I mean, seriously, it's amazing. Food is amazing. They basically have 4 things on the menu: burgers, hot dogs, fries, and tots. If you don't know what tots are, tater tots. And you get your different sauces on the fries, different sauces and different cheeses on the tots, and French fries. Same thing with the hot dogs. 2 burgers in there I love, which is the peanut butter and jelly burger and the breakfast burger. The breakfast burger is probably my favorite. Definitely check it out. It's awesome. There's a first floor and there's a second floor. You have to, seriously, go there. If you're a burger, you love a good burger, go there. If you want something more upscale, you got Jake and Cooper's. It's kind of like a local wine bar. They have a really good beer there called the Gaffel. It's a German beer. One of my favorites, one of the few places I've ever found it at. Perfect for date night. If you want something different, try Yanako. Definitely check out that. There's another restaurant called Winnie's. Great American food. They have a meatloaf there that's pretty darn good. Yes, I've had it myself. Once you have had that, you can walk right down a couple blocks and get a cookie. Insomnia cookies. Seriously, you can't go wrong with Insomnia cookies. You can't go wrong with Insomnia cookies. They actually usually give it to you straight out of the oven. Cookies are hot. They got small size cookies and they got larger size cookies. Get in there and you get a chocolate chip cookie. It'll probably melt in your hand. So you make sure, check that out. The cool thing is that you are a quick, train ride away from Manayunk. Manayunk to Center City, it's just so much, it's such a cool vibe there. You have a whole bunch of different festivals. Founders, Philly Freeze Out. Basically, they turn it into like an ice carved playground. Serve beer, serve some food. Check that out. That's also in Manayunk. You have the Street Food Festival. It's funny, it's TRE, capital E, capital A, capital T, Street Food Festival. They line up the main street with food trucks and the food is just amazing there. It's cool to go there. Definitely want to check that out. You also have the Manayunk Art Festival. This also happens. The Manayunk Art Festival is crazy because they have about 300 artists there and it pulls in about 150,000 people come and visit. If I had my choice, I'd obviously do the food festival over the art festival, but the art festival comes in a close second. So the cool thing with Manayunk is you can just go there on a Saturday afternoon, hang out, have some coffee, hang out with your friends for the day. A lot of people, a lot of the places are dog friendly, so you could have your dog sit outside, hang out with your dog, have some coffee, have a drink, have some food. It's just kind of the vibe down there. And when you're there, you don't really feel like you're in Philly. Like I'm telling you, it's such a cool little town. It's the same thing with Roxborough. You just go up the hill, you're in Roxborough, and there's hills. That's the thing with Manayunk and hills and Roxborough. A lot of times your house will be on a hill. And what does that mean in the wintertime? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I live on a street called Ridge Avenue, and I'm not gonna lie, when it snowed badly there, they would close down the street and I'd work from home because I'm in real estate, so I work from home, and I'd sit there in my living room and I can hear the cars revving on top of the hill, and I would run to my window and look. This is true, and I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I would just look out the window and see, oh my God, what are they gonna do? And you'd see cars just sliding on down the hill. I don't know why you wanted to drive, because one thing about Philly, they're terrible at plowing here. So when it snows in Manayunk and Roxborough, you're most most likely working from home. Just remember that. If it snows badly enough, you will be working from home because it's really hard. It's almost impossible to get out of Manayunk, Roxborough because there's hills everywhere. It's just not flat land. Like you go to South Philly, everything's just flat. When you hit Manayunk and Roxborough, everything is just a hill. Small hill, big hills, you know, he's gonna remember that. Parking in center, you know, in the middle of Manayunk is a little tough sometimes. There are garages, there are parking lots. If you are gonna go down there for dinner, make sure you park it in the parking lot if you can, because you'd probably get a ticket if you don't. But the cool thing with, for example, Roxborough, a lot of houses come with driveways, come with parking. Some do, some don't, but a lot of them do have driveways, and it's obviously a little bit of a luxury because when you come home, you don't want to fight for parking compared to South Philly, for example. So you got a little driveway. My house in Ripka Street had a driveway. It was awesome. Come home every night, park my car right in the driveway. It was fantastic. I will point something out though with Manayunk, because you are right on the Schuylkill River, and that river will flood at times. So yes, I tell people, like, if you're gonna buy a house in Manayunk, buy up the hill a little bit, because lower parts of Manayunk will flood. Doesn't happen every year, doesn't happen every other year, but when we get a lot of snow and a lot of rain that same winter and spring, there are times when it could flood. So it does happen. That's that on Manayunk. Also, I will tell you, Manayunk, price-wise, house-wise, I mean, it's pretty cool. There's usually a younger crowd in Manayunk, Roxborough. I think the average age is like 33, 34. The younger generations will stay more in Manayunk. The families and more professionals will stay more up in the Roxborough area. It's a little bit more quieter up there. You do find a lot of first-time home buyers buying in Manayunk and Roxborough. Price-wise, I would say a row home, 3-bedroom row home in decent shape usually starts around 300, 325, and it can go all the way up to $1 million, $1.5 million, depending on what you're looking for and where you're looking. The new construction stuff is usually 650 and up, just to remember that. As always, you know, if you're looking to move to Manayunk, this is the guy. This is the information. You can reach out to me. The cool thing about Manayunk is a lot of people live here and they just feel kind of at home. Like I said, it's like a small town feel with, you know, in a big city. Manayunk is louder than Roxborough. Roxborough is a little more quieter, got a little more tree-lined street. Roxborough has more single homes than Manayunk. You can find a 3, 4, 5-bedroom detached home. Obviously a little bit pricier than a row home, but it is a little more quieter in Roxborough. A lot more families move to Roxborough, but it is, you know, parking is a little bit easier in Roxborough than Manayunk, that is for sure. Some people, you know, like I said, some families, I've moved here about 5, 6 years ago. I've helped people and they still live there and they still love it. By living in Roxborough, you also close to the Wissahickon Valley Park. It's got the trails, and on the trails is cool. The Wissahickon Trail is actually, if I remember correctly, is the original turnpike in Pennsylvania. One of the first ones that was ever built, and it's very wide. You will see people riding horses, mountain bikes, running, walking. Yeah, so you'll be running down the trail, and next thing you know, you see somebody coming down the trail with a horse. You'll see that. Again, Roxborough, Manayunk is 20 minutes from those areas straight to Center City. It's pretty cool. Cool thing too is, like, for example, if you first move in here to Manayunk and Roxborough, real close to a place called Conshohocken, which has a huge IKEA. Right down Ridge Pike, 20 minutes down Ridge Pike, you hit the IKEA, which is great when you first move here, because who doesn't like a good deal at IKEA? Now, neighborhood number 2. Remember, stay to the end. I'm gonna tell you which one I like best. So the second one we're gonna talk about is Chestnut Hill. Chestnut Hill is a different vibe than Manayunk. In a way, it's similar, but very different. What I mean by that, again, still part of Philadelphia. Chestnut Hill is, again, it's just kind of like Manayunk in the sense of it's a small town. When people ask you, oh, where you live? You tell them Chestnut Hill, they go, oh, that's beautiful up there. You'll get that a lot in Chestnut Hill. It is a big, you know, kind of got a small town feel to it, just like Manayunk. You know, it's really, it's up again, even further up a hill is Chestnut Hill. Hence the name, Chestnut Hill. It's known as the Garden District, lives up to its name. You know, think trees, stone houses, quiet streets that feel more like a historic village in a city neighborhood. Here people actually, you know, they'll stop and talk to you, talk to the neighbors. They do the same thing in Roxborough and Manayunk, but you'll see a lot of people walking their dogs, strolling down Germantown Avenue. Parts of Germantown Avenue still has, you know, brick-lined streets, stone-lined streets. You'll have that a part of Germantown Avenue. Chestnut Hill's been around since the 1800s. You have Germantown Avenue is pretty awesome with their stores, again, cafes, restaurants, boutique, bookstores, restaurants. A lot of people go to the same restaurants over and over. If you like history and architecture, you feel right at home, especially with Chestnut Hill. Like I said before, many houses date back to the late 1800s, early 1900s. They were actually built with what's called a Wissahickon schist, which is a stone unique to the area. When you're walking down different, you know, side streets off of Germantown Avenue, you will see like ivy-covered twins, Victorians, and carriage houses that have been turned into dream homes. A lot of these houses were were smaller. So a lot of them have extensions on top of them to make them bigger, to make them feel bigger. So that's important to remember. You know, even the new builds, they try to kind of blend in with the neighborhood over there. The newer stuff compared to Manayunk and Roxborough, you can really see that when something's built newly in Manayunk and Roxborough, because it stands out, is usually a 3-story house, slightly different than Chestnut Hill. Have to keep that. Mornings are a lot calmer in Chestnut Hill, I would say. Still rush hour traffic's gonna be busy. Nightlife is more laid back. Think more like pubs, wine bars, cozy bistros, cozy coffee shops, cozy ice cream shops. There's a couple of cool ice cream shops there, cakes and so on and so forth. Chestnut Hill has more of a creative side compared to Manayunk and Roxborough, believe it or not. You got the Woodmere Art Museum, showcases a lot of local artists. And then you also have the Gravers Lane Gallery, got some fine crafts with jewelry to sculptures. Community spirit runs real deep in there. You got the Home and Garden Festival in the fall, with the Arts Festival, and they have the Stag and Doe nights. Stag and Doe, like rain dough. Anyway, in December with Germantown, basically, Germantown Avenue lights up for the holidays. But these aren't small events, draw a lot of crowds. Right next door, on the other side of Roxborough, Manayunk, it's the same thing. On Chestnut Hill, kind of, here's Roxborough, here's Chestnut Hill, and right down the middle, you got the Wissahickon Valley Park. Same thing, tons of trails. It's easy accessible from there. People park their car. Parking's a little tough there around the Wissahickon Trail. Just remember that. You also have the Morristown Arboretum and garden span, about 90 acres of greenery, sculptures. It's pretty awesome over there. It's very beautiful. It's very quiet. Families, a lot more families. I'm gonna say families and older generation at Chestnut Hill. A lot of people will retire from Philly and actually move into Chestnut Hill. A lot of families go there because the public schools has Jenks Academy, has a strong community involvement and ranks very high. Philadelphia School District. You do also have a lot of private schools there. You got the Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, Norwood Fontbonne, Craigfield School, and a Mother of Consolation. These are all private schools a lot of people send their kids to. Commuting back and forth from Chestnut Hill and Center City is not quite as easy as Manayunk or Roxborough, but it's still pretty easy. You have the 2 SEPTA rail lines, which is Chestnut Hill East and Chestnut Hill West. They go to Center City all the time. You can get there in less than 40 minutes. Multiple bus routes like the 23, the 77, the L. They connect to different areas nearby and also Center City. If you drive, you can take the Lincoln Drive and the Schuylkill Expressway. By the way, the Lincoln Drive is a beautiful drive. I mean, it really is. Like when you're driving down Lincoln Drive, you really have to experience it. It's very beautiful, very quiet, you know, but Lincoln Drive is just a few minutes away from Chestnut Hill. And then you can take Lincoln Drive, you connect into the Kelly Drive, and then you'll be in Center City in no time. People feel real comfortable walking in the dark. Neighbors do look out for another when it comes to Chestnut Hill. Same thing in Manayunk or Roxborough. Obviously, you gotta be smart in what you're doing and where you're going. Real estate in Chestnut Hill is very much more expensive than Manayunk or Roxborough. You're not really gonna find anything for under $400,000. In fact, you're probably gonna be more like $500,000, $600,000, up to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. You do have a lot of renovated row homes, stone twins, and single family homes with yards, even some carriage houses and gardens, apartments, condos, especially above Germantown Avenue, you know, great for singles, downsizing, people wanting less maintenance. I told you a lot of families and a lot of older generation people will move to Chestnut Hill just because of the local vicinity and the local atmosphere, and kind of, you know, more of a calmer vibe than a lot of other parts in Philadelphia. You know, it definitely, when you go there, it does feel like, again, it feels like you know, it's weird because it does feel like you live in the suburbs. You don't feel like I said, you have a Philadelphia address, like you'll live 123 Main Street, Philadelphia. The zip code is different because the zip code in Chestnut Hill is 19118. Manayunk is 19127. Roxborough is 19128. You'll put that in there and it says Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But in reality, you are living in Chestnut Hill, or Manayunk does have a different kind of a town, small town vibe to it. It feels like a small little suburb, small little neighborhood. Quiet, it's connected, it's easy to get back and forth between Chestnut Hill and Center City. So it's pretty cool. I like them both. You know, to me, if you're looking to move to Chestnut Hill, obviously you're gonna hit me up, contact info. So you waited to the end, you wanna find out which my 2 favorite, which of the 2 are my favorites. I'm gonna tell you right now, where I am right now in my life, I would say Manayunk and Roxborough gets the win. I know when I get older and want more peace and quiet, I would probably choose Chestnut Hill. But right now, where I am in my life, where I feel like I am, I still like a little vibe going on. Roxborough is I'm gonna say Roxborough is really, lived there before, but I have no problems moving back back just because of the layout where it is. Like I said, it makes you just feel you still can get a good looking house for a decent price. Because you can remember, this is Philadelphia, so price is a little bit higher compared to, I don't know, North Dakota, for example. Just using it as a reference. Anyway, I would definitely pick Manayunk and Roxborough over Chestnut Hill right now. Ask me again in 10 years, I'm probably gonna tell you Chestnut Hill. So there you have it. Please smash the like button, subscribe, let me know if there's any other neighborhoods you'd like to get some more information. And once again, thank you for watching my channel, and make sure you check out the other videos I have on my YouTube list. See you next time.